looking to the future of motorsport, you see, that growth in America, in I think also the Middle East is a key point where motorsport is really expanding. Are those just the main patterns you see in that, just sort of geographically, other countries apart from the UK investing more in motorsport, or are there other patterns you see looking towards the future in terms of maybe something like automation or different kinds of specialization when you look towards the future of jobs in motorsport? What do you see?
Well, yeah, a bit of all of that, really. I think in terms of specialisation, of course, electronics aren't going away. That's only going to get bigger. So if you're into electronics, I think you're onto a good thing there, because they're just more and more, well, not only just on the sensor side and the data side, but just maybe a little bit more automation. I know they've been trying to get that robo race thing going, haven't they, where they're autonomous cars. That might be a step too far, but it's all good sort of prototyping work, isn't it, and pushing the boundaries and all this kind of stuff. But also, yeah, the countries, I think America's going through an interesting change, because the likes of NASCAR's kind of dying off, really, and India's as well, if I'm honest. I've got an agent over there, and he's saying they're taking 10,000 seats out of the stands at a time because they're empty. Wow. And they're embarrassed that they look so empty at some of these big venues. So, but what's growing there is the whole IMSA thing. That's doing really well, and people are really appreciating that form of racing. And yeah, you got the whole Middle East. That's again that it's going to grow, and there's plenty of money there to get motorsport going over there. But there's lots of interesting areas. But it's got to interest you, hasn't it? Don't get into electronics just because I said it's a great area in the future. You got to be interested. You got to be passionate about it, and then that'll dictate, I think, where you go, and you'll find your way without a doubt. You'll zigzag your way to your ultimate job, like we all did. Nobody walks in, well, very rarely you'd walk in the door on the first morning and think, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. You zigzag your way through it, and you'll end up there. But you need to be quite resilient, and don't give up.
Wow, that's really great advice. I think especially for people to learn that, the path is there, whether it's not obvious to you directly how you're going to get there. I'm sure for the drivers, it's not obvious to them when they start. I'm sure in your career as a driver, it probably wasn't running a job networking website your ultimate dream there, but you found your way, and you're kind of really empowering people like me to find their role in the industry and get on that inside of the pit wall as well, be able to change the way they engage with it on that fan side, and to really make it the backbone of their livelihood. I think one final question I wanted to ask that we ask all our guests is any kind of category you follow or anything you're a fan of. Mostly it's been Formula One so far, but a bold prediction as we look to 2022 results wise, who's going to win Le Mans this year? Toyota may be an easy shout for that one, but maybe for the Formula One season, a bold prediction you see with your expertise, what stands out to you as a storyline for racing in 2022?
Okay, I think Haas are going to do quite well this year. I don't think they're going to win. I think they're going to do quite well. From what I've seen of the car, and I speak to the team and so on, and I think they had a disastrous year last year because they took their eye completely off the ball. They're a small team. They really concentrated on developing this year's car. So I think they're going to do quite well.
It's been high risk, high reward, hopefully, their strategy of really sacrificing at the start of last year, being, we're going to come P10 in the Constructors' Championship in 2021, almost knowing that from the start and openly saying that as well to the media. They've kind of taken that risk of saying, we have invested everything into this year's car. So it would be really brilliant to see that reward come through. And especially you speak about the next generation of racing, Mick Schumacher and his story in Formula One, I absolutely love. And he's a real great figure, and I think a really quick driver. So if he could get a great car from Haas to use, like the old days of Haas, like 2015, 2016, absolutely. They were that new entrant. They were quick, and they were a point scoring team. So there we are, Haas competitive.
I really hope so. But actually, there could be some quite interesting, certainly for the first few races, I think there could be some quite interesting results, couldn't there? Because when you talk about the brand new car, it can throw up some quite interesting anomalies at first, and then the bigger teams tend to work it all out quite quickly, don't they? But I'm hoping for I have a little bet with my son on that. I think we just use one of these betting apps, and we have a fiver to put in and decide where we're going to put it on. And we came out 80 quid up actually last season, which I was quite chuffed about. But this season, I don't know. I'm going to be spreading that. I'll probably put a quid on quite a few different ones, I think, because it's anything could happen. And I think it's a really interesting. I'm pleased it's happened. Something needs to happen. Sure. I'm not sure they've nailed the aerodynamics so that the following car isn't in the way quite so much. I think they had gone a bit more extreme than they have on that front.
Interesting. Okay.
But let's wait and see. Because that's certainly messed up all the overtaking. When back in my day, you look at the wings, there were single plane wings, and we never had any problems overtaking. Because we didn't have all the turbulence, the dirty air coming off the back of all these fancy aerodynamics on the cars. So they cleaned that up a lot, to be fair. Whether they've gone far enough, and I think the cars are too big as well. They're flipping huge now.
Absolutely, especially street tracks as well. It becomes so obvious that it just doesn't look right to see them driving around Monaco.
No, and the big end plates on the front wings are just going to get knocked off, and you just think, I think they need to bring the wing back onto the inside of the tyre width rather than the outside of the tyre width, so it doesn't get knocked as easily. Because you potentially your race is over just from tapping something. But I don't know. Let's see how it goes. They look a little bit Americanized to me, the cars, which is probably right. But let's hope for an exciting season again.